It has been a tense weekend for people in a neighborhood in Hamilton, Ontario. According to police, an engaged couple, a man and a woman in their late 20s, were shot and killed by their landlord after a dispute. And then the landlord died in an exchange of gunfire with police. Let's bring you right up to date on the situation. That's where we left things off over the weekend. But there's Megan Fitzpatrick right at the scene. And Megan, I know the Special Investigations Unit is now investigating. Take us through what we know so far and what they'll be seeking to understand further.
Well, there is still a police presence here on the scene this morning, Heather. A couple of police cars from the Hamilton Police Service are here. I'll just step out of the way so you can have a look at the scene yourselves and sort of the aftermath of what happened here Saturday night. You can see the front door of the home is lying on the ground. There's broken windows in the door and the surrounding area of it as well. And the garage door is completely off of the garage and lying mangled in front of the garage area. A ladder up there, some downed wires as well. So this is what the scene is looking like this morning. You can see the police car parked there. This scene unfolded just before 6 p.m. on Saturday night. That's when police and 911 started getting calls with reports of a shooting. And from what police say and witnesses are saying, the shooting did happen outside. When first responders arrived, they found the 27-year-old woman and the 28-year-old man on the ground here outside of the home. Police saying there were no signs of life. They were pronounced dead at the scene. And they say then they believe the shooter, the suspect in this, then barricaded himself inside the home. They say the shooter was the owner of the house and that the young couple rented a basement apartment in the home. Now, after several hours of a standoff, police saying there was an exchange of gunfire. The suspect was shot and killed. 57-year-old man. We don't have his name released by police nor the names of the victims, but here's a little bit of what Hamilton police are saying about those young people that were killed.
These are not people that this should happen to. They're not involved in any level of criminality or lifestyle that may lead to an incident like this. They're truly innocent victims, hardworking people, young people. They were engaged to be married, and this is a very tragic incident.
From what we know of them, Heather, the woman was an educational assistant and the man an electrician who worked in Hamilton. Their families have been notified. So again, we're waiting for their names to be released by police. And meanwhile, the SIU is investigating. That's what happens when there is an interaction between police and a suspect when something like this happens and the suspect has been shot dead. They've assigned several investigators to this case and they're asking the public with any information to contact them.
Sounds like there will be developments to come on this story in the hours ahead, Megan, with some of the identities, etc. What about reaction from community members? What are they telling you?
Yeah, we've been talking to people here this morning. It's sort of a mix of a residential and industrial neighborhood. There's a couple of businesses right across the street from the home. We were just talking to one man who told us that it was his coworker. One of his coworkers was one of the ones who called 911, that the coworker had been outside of the business Saturday evening when this started, heard gunshots, ran inside the building and called police. And from what we understand, he and his coworkers were then told to stay inside the building and they weren't allowed back out until about 1 in the morning. There's another business across the street from where I'm standing. It's sort of an auto body shop, a mechanic shop. And Heather, there is a car in the parking lot whose back window has been shot out and the door of the business also shot at. There's a bullet hole in that door, and we were talking to the owners as well. They didn't want to go on camera with us, but they weren't here Saturday night. They said they arrived here at 6 p.m. to go to their business and they were turned away by police because the scene was unfolding basically right at that time. So they are shaken up. This is what we were hearing from neighbors who said they didn't really know the people that lived here, sometimes would see them coming and going, but didn't know them personally. And they're just really in shock that something like this happened here on Saturday night.
Megan, thank you. We'll be back to you for updates, certainly on the story. Megan Fitzpatrick in Hamilton, Ontario.